Welcome to the Women Arise podcast. I am joined today by Imam Ossama Bahloul, and I'm so happy that you're here with me. I've looked forward to this conversation. We had a conversation at the very beginning of the pandemic, and that conversation has really stayed with me through these years. In it, you said, perhaps through the pandemic, we will learn that we cannot be well until all are well. That has been a guiding force in my life since I heard you say that. And I think many lessons have been learned. So welcome to this podcast.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me to be part of that. And I'm really grateful for your mission and the kind of effort you are putting toward much needed, really, area within our community. Depression and trauma does not discriminate either. And it seems like we as a human, especially after going through COVID-19 and all of this, I think there's an obvious need for each one of us to do his or her very best to comfort the other. And your effort is phenomenal. And I'm really grateful for it. Really, I am.
Thank you. So can you begin by just sharing a bit about your faith community, where you're located and what you're seeing there?
Well, I am the Imam of the Islamic Center of Nashville, and obviously we live in Nashville. The Muslim community in Middle Tennessee, we are speaking about maybe 50,000 or so. A diverse community. We have people from everywhere. We have the largest Kurdish community outside of the Middle East. We have a big Somali community. We have a reasonable size of reasonable percentage came from the Middle and the Far East. And we have also a good portion being born and grew up in America. It's a very diverse community, quite challenging because of the diversity, allow room for a great excitement. Every day is new, and we face new issue every day, and we are speaking many language, which is sometimes can be, it's a blessing, but can be a challenge as well. So I came from the Islamic faith. Faith expect its member to believe in the oneness of God. We practice monotheism, and we are very big in it. We intend to build a good relationship with people around us who believe fundamentally that all of us came from Adam and Eve. So we are really related. We have some agreement and this some disagreement, and I personally enjoy both, and I feel like it's good to agree, it's good to disagree, but we always say have agreement and disagreement, but never compromise care and love toward everyone around you. Having a clean heart is one of the quality in Islam as a religion cares deeply about.
Yes, and that's prominent within the Christian religion as well. And I think love of God, love of neighbor, they're central. And so often people, human beings see difference before they see similarity. But inside of each one of us is the essence of that love that formed us. And I believe in really amplifying that voice of love to all around us. Because I think internally, we are better when we practice that kind of love.
You are right. But also it needs a maturity. Sometimes people can be under the impression that I can make it by myself. No one can make it by him or herself anymore. I think we need each other. Even if someone is not nice, he or she has no option but to work with the people around him or her. So if we work, why don't we work as a family? We end up really highlighting and bringing the best part about each one of us. It's I think it's a wonderful journey. I think God put us in a unique position. I really I feel like all of this diversity is healthy, and we are, I guess, we will become a better individual when we give each other a chance.
Yes, I love that. I love that. That's a quote. Okay, so I want you to just share with the audience what kind of um, traumatic events are being experienced in those who come to the Islamic Center.
And nearly the simple fact is we as a human we are dealing with a similar struggle. Within the Muslim community, some really struggle through the pandemic because of the isolation and the lack of the social fulfillment. Um, we dealt with some of that. It was very hard for me to see people in a senior facility, cannot even interact or visit with someone. We dealt with people lost a member of their family through the pandemic, and they could not even hold a proper funeral for him or her. It's painful, and some of them still carry this with them because sometimes we feel comfortable when we serve our parents well, or our spouse, or our children. So we experience people. Some people passed away, obviously, due to the COVID-19, and some people still carry this with them. The Muslim community also in certain area experience discrimination. We are a minority in America. Some of us look different. We speak with accent, and all of this, especially the female part of the Muslim community, because it's very easy for you to identify a female, especially if she is wearing a scarf. So sometimes we deal with discrimination, and it's unfortunate. And in some cities, more than others, I believe the majority of the people are kind, and the majority of the people are welcoming. But we have some member went through troubling experience, and they continue to carry it with them. It doesn't go away, by the way. The only thing is we try to put it under control, and we manage through it. And which is a reminder, don't any one of us should not underestimate any good or bad act. Nothing is small or big. If you do something small and it's very nice, the effect can go long term. And if someone chooses to do anything bad, even if he or she assumes it's very small, it goes long term too. And we have some of that. We have some cases of abuse. We don't have a statistic, but some people are dealing with that. So we have what the society really has. And the idea that Muslims are this and Jewish are this, and all of us are human, I think we are facing the same struggle.
You are so right. It's like the human pain is an equalizer.
Indeed.
It does not discriminate. So what has it been like for your community to find the mental health resources that that may be needed to cope with these issues?
The Muslim community, when I said the Muslim community, really a diverse community. Diversity is nice, but also allow reasonable level of challenge, because you have American-born children, a beautiful program like the one you came with, and this beautiful steps works really well with them. This is how they think. They go through the normal process anyone growing in the West really desire to go through. But also we have percentages in the community. They are culturally oriented, and they assume that the only source has to be the religious authority. And it's a fact that you can be a very good pastor, not necessarily to be a good counselor. You can be a good imam, but not really a counselor. And I think this is a struggle. Sometimes language can be very much a challenge. But we try our very best. We offer people the beautiful program that you work hard to finalize. And Zainab attended that, and it seems like the feedback is good. And we have still part of the community wants to sit with an imam, wants to speak with him. This is their way of comfort, seeking comfort. And we have some people want to have someone really from their society, from the country they came from. They can understand not only each other language, but each other even way of communication, and how they deal with. Yes, so we are diverse all of the way.
Yes. Yes. I think that it means so much for people to know that they're being understood.
Yes.
And sometimes it takes someone who has perhaps been through what we've been through, or perhaps someone who really at a deeper level understands our language, or at a deeper level understands our faith tradition, to make us feel comfortable. Because when you get to that level where you feel like you're being understood, the guard comes down and you can say what's really on your heart and not be thinking that you are just going to be judged or misunderstood. So, so this is a program that is meant for people to lead within their own faith communities. You are the writer of the Islamic Context Supplement for Triumph Over Trauma. Tell me what it was like for you to draw from ancient wisdom into the practices of healing in today's world.
Well, I don't think there's much struggle accessing information. I think the main struggle that I had is I was thinking about who is going to go through this. And I gather so much materials in the beginning, and I try to choose. I tried my very best to choose a verse or a perspective will work with most. And I thought it might be beneficial for someone holding this information to use it as very much a foundation of the discussion. Because I know that some people, what they need and what they expect is really for someone to be there for them. Not to give them a lecture, but sometimes even listening only. So I felt that the main point is to justify the need of this, to say to an average Muslim that Islam as a religion expect you to do this. Your prophet was doing this. I felt this is can be the main achievement to prevent any stereotype toward a certain struggle, because we came from a diverse society. And in some societies, the mental health issue can be a reason for shame, can be a taboo, and many people they don't want to go there, really. We had a few discussions. I gave a few sermons about the mental health issue in general, and I thought there is need for people to understand the sickness is a sickness and there is cure for each sickness. So I hope we gather enough evidence to support this, and an average Muslim, liberal or conservative, might look to this text and say, you know what, really Islam supported this, and I can be part of that. God is working for me. I don't know what, there is something, God is with me. God wants me to be well. Without any shame, without any stereotype. I thought about this a lot, because I experienced within the Muslim community a few times. People might feel comfortable speaking with the Imam about something confidential in their life, but I saw it in their eyes that they have so much worries about people finding out. Even though I feel like the majority of the people will support them, the majority of the people will work with them. When someone said to me, I have a child and my daughter has that, and I don't want anyone to call my daughter crazy. I don't want anyone. It's a struggle. It is. It is.
It is. And that's a struggle that people feel all around the world, no matter the faith tradition. Shame is one of the biggest barriers, I think, in us living a fuller life, because it diminishes us. It makes us small. We can remember things with our bodies. A thought comes to mind, and all of a sudden you feel pain in your stomach,
Mm.
or anxiety in your chest. And it's very diminishing of the quality of life. What examples from the Quran do you see as good stories that can be shared to just help encourage someone in their time of need?
Uh, I thought it's so obvious in the Quran. When God spoke about prophets, some of them were very sick. And the story of Ayub in Arabic, he went through a very hard time. And God intentionally went in details about it for people to understand that someone, even as special as a prophet, can go through this, and God really wants people to deal with it. When Prophet Abraham had to struggle when God asking him to slaughter his son, he went through a painful really stage. And the Quran mentioned this. The Quran mentioned that God even himself said, we tested him in a way we never tested anyone before. It was painful. So I felt that what happened with Prophet Abraham was what happened with many prophets in the Quran can be an obvious example that, what special people can have certain struggle. It's because we have to agree that to start with, we are all here to be tested. One of us can be tested by being healthy, and the other can be tested by being not as healthy. But each one of us is uniquely special, and each one of us has a gift. Prophet Muhammad, in his tradition, he addressed a woman with a mental health issue, and she was to hold his hand in the city, walking around, and some of the companions felt bad that she is doing this with him, and he stopped them, and he never ignored her until she felt like it's enough. She wants to walk around, and the woman had mental health issue. This being reported, and the Prophet accommodating her need publicly, and kind of taught Muslims that people with any kind of mental health issue, any kind of emotional stress, any kind of trauma, I think it's a normal process the human goes through. It doesn't mean that they are bad people, but it might be an opportunity for the people around them to find a better quality about themselves, and to reach out to accommodate him or her, and we end up winning. The person with the need of care will receive the care, and the person providing the care get rewarded, and it's wonderful. It is.
That is such a powerful example. I love that he walked with the woman who was mentally ill publicly. And that is such a powerful example of what's needed, because that in itself diminishes shame.
I have when we spoke about sermon, and I have two girls. One of them is dyslexic. I gave a discussion one time in the Islamic Center about dyslexic children, and I told them my daughter is dyslexic, very smart, but you know what, her brain works differently. And people were surprised that you brought your personal life. I said yes, because I don't see anything wrong with it. I think she is so talented, and I think she is really smart, but her brain works different way. That's it. And we learn from each other.
Yes, yes, that is so powerful. I think that as people who have struggled with various issues become more public about them, it releases shame from others. It sheds light on the grace and the love that is still very much present, even in this human struggle.
It is. And the people around us are too kind. This is how I deal with it. Either very good people, and I hope they are the majority, they will always find an excuse for you. They will always try to work with you. They are good people. And the others, I hope they are the extreme minority, the troublemaker. You will not be able to satisfy them anyway. So be yourself and don't worry. That's it. And for the general public, you can choose. You either to be a member of a good team or the member of the troublemaker team. That's as simple as that.
That's right. That finding that courage and strength within to do what you know you're called to do, to be one with God, to love neighbor. It can help us rise above the troublemakers.
Yes, yes, yes,
And
yes.
not
And
become one.
yeah, most of the people are wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You said something else that I want to come back to. You know, often when we think about God testing someone, we think about God testing through adversity. But you actually said sometimes we are tested through health. And I love that concept because I think that sometimes when people are given so much good health and everything, it can also be a test to see how do you use your health.
It is more difficult of a test. Actually, if someone is sick, naturally his sickness or her sickness will lead him or her to go toward God. But if someone is so healthy, has so much, his or her health, wealth might prevent them from realizing a need of anything. So to be tested by having is way more challenging than being tested by missing. And because your entire circumstance, when it comes to someone being sick or struggling financially or having this and that, the entire circumstance led her or him toward God. But if someone is very comfortable, well, there is no need. And this is why I always believe, it's my opinion, that being tested by health is more challenging than being tested by sickness. And
Wow.
being tested by wealth is more struggling, more challenging than being tested by poverty. And if you have to be grateful. And the concept of appreciation cannot be a verbal appreciation. Thanks God, thank God. I think the proper way of appreciating what God bestowed upon us is to put it in a good use, to do what God actually desires for us to do. If you have money, share it with others. If you have wisdom, share it with others. If you have connection, share it with others. We end up winning. It's good for everyone. It's good for everyone.
It's good for everyone. Yes. And I think it comes back to what you said during our first interview together. We cannot be well until all are well.
Indeed. Indeed. If you want to breathe a nice air, all of us have to care about the environment. Percentage within us caring is not enough. All of us, then we enjoy a healthy lifestyle. Then we enjoy healthy food. Then we have no option but to work together. Indeed.
Yes, yes. So what is your hope for the use of triumph over trauma within Muslim contexts?
I hope it's a beginning. I hope the people can realize the benefit from it, can use it, and they share it with their families. And if the one feel like they can come with something better than this, I hope they will come with something better than that. I hope it will allow room for competition and different perspective. I think it's a beginning. It's on a step. This is why I said I really appreciate your effort, because you brought attention to much needed crisis. So I hope the one will feel like what we have is beneficial, will use it, and it will be accessible. You don't have to go to a facility. You can do it with your family. You can do it, even walk through it by yourself if you want. If you need a support team, we have a support team. And I hope this is part of it. Then I hope someone can come with a better writing. I hope she can write. And I hope he can write. I hope someone has a better idea. I'm really grateful for the attention given to the issue. And ideally speaking, I hope one day the Islamic Center will be, within the Islamic Center, someone will say, I'm struggling with some mental health issue, and this is my struggle, and it will be a public information, and all of us will add to the effort. Then we very much eliminate this crisis. And instead of you going struggling for 1 or 2 years by yourself, maybe you don't have to struggle but 1 month or 2 months, because everyone will bench in, everyone will help together. This is my hope.
Oh, what beautiful hope that is. All of our world would be better if this continues to unfold and multiply in this way. And so I really appreciate that, you sharing that dream. It's important to me with all of the suffering that I have seen, witnessed, experienced in life. I think this is something that we can give back and help one another more fully. I want to thank you, Imam Ossama, for joining us today. And it is so important for others to hear your voice. And I know this will be a blessing to many.
Well, I'm really grateful for the opportunity, and I am grateful for the effort. May the effort be blessed. And anyone struggling anywhere, I want you to know that we are all with you. You have your struggle, and we have ours. Each one of us has many gifts. Anyone having a trauma of any kind, I want him or her to know that they are special, and they have a special gift. They are struggling with some temporary illness, but tomorrow will be definitely better than today. And together as a community will bring a better future for all. I'm grateful for the program. I'm grateful for the effort, and I hope it will continue to achieve its mission. And may God bless your effort.
Thank you. Thank you.